Continuing our coverage of the Israeli incursion into Gaza, as a result of a rocket that landed very close to Tel Aviv airport, the U.S. FAA has ordered the 3 American airlines that fly to Israel, which are Delta, the United, and U.S. Airways, to stop flights for 24 hours. Europe's aviation regulator has also advised European airlines to stop flights for the time being. Even before the announcement, Lufthansa, which includes Swiss, Germanwings, and Austrian airlines, decided to suspend all of their flights to Israel for 2 days as well. Subsequently, KLM and Air France did the same. EasyJet, Air Canada, Alitalia, all canceling flights. And we continue to see kind of like I don't even know if the term expectation is right, but certainly a waiting period to see if Secretary of State John Kerry's arrival in Israel after being in Cairo, Egypt, for a possible ceasefire negotiation will bear fruit of any kind. I continue to get emails from people saying that I am too anti-Israel and a liberal commie, and also getting emails from people saying I am too pro-Israeli and support everything that Israel does. Now, I'm going to be as clear as possible here, because the nonsense is just escalating. I don't really care that much about rebutting the people saying that I'm too anti-Israel, because that's mostly coming from the extreme right. So I don't even really care about rebutting that. However, there are people from the left who are saying that I support everything that Israel does and believe Israel is always correct. If that's what you believe, you're either a liar or you're just not watching this program or listening to this program. Because over the last week, I have unconditionally condemned Israeli settlements and indicated that those need to stop, they need to be removed, and they are an impediment to the peace process, unconditionally. I've indicated that in spite of Israel having a right to defend itself, as any country does, that the civilian and child casualties on the Palestinian side as a result of Israeli campaigns are absolutely deplorable, need to stop, and are completely counterproductive when we think of the peace process. And I have also unequivocally said, I believe the Gaza incursion is a mistake. So, Lewis, do you think that those saying I am in agreement with everything Israel does are lying? Or do you think they just aren't listening to the show or watching the show and are just commenting based on ignorance?
That could be. It could also be that they just have blinders on, and I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem that productive just to yell at you for one thing or another. I mean, if you have a certain issue that you want us to discuss or that you think we are wrong on, let's discuss that issue.
Right, but saying I just applaud everything Israel does is empirically inaccurate, and it's just nonsense. And if you want me to say Israel is unconditionally evil, should be destroyed, and are waiting for me to go to Gaza and start throwing stones at Israeli soldiers, if that's your barometer, this is the wrong program for you. I'm sorry, but if you've been paying any attention, you know that my criticisms of Israel and my unconditional condemnations of specific actions have been abundantly clear.
Yeah, it's strange receiving criticism from both sides. I mean, you can only keep one side happy by fully vesting in one side and saying that the other side should be exterminated. So just not productive.
We need peace talks to resume. To get there, we of course need a ceasefire. I think that international pressure is going to be a factor in achieving that ceasefire. I'm open to the idea that Secretary of State Kerry may be able to have productive talks to that end. But I need to also remind everybody that Hamas is a systemic impediment to peace, and it is not going to be more Israeli bombs that eliminate Hamas, or at least remove Hamas from power, because those campaigns, as I've been very clear, only help Hamas recruitment, right? And as we know, Palestinians are very skeptical of Hamas. Palestinians, according to a recent in-person survey of 1,200 Palestinians, by and large, don't support Hamas. And the current status quo of Israeli policy, while you could have different opinions as to whether it is justified, I'm not arguing one way or the other. Either way, regardless of your opinion, it only strengthens Hamas, and that is a problem.
And I honestly would predict that if they tried to overthrow Hamas or take Hamas out of power, that there would be Palestinian on Palestinian violence. as a result of that.
There's
So it could,
actually already been. I've talked to some people on the ground there, Lewis, and we're trying to confirm this from the news point of view, that it's been confirmed from the news point of view. But there are allegations that when Israel notifies that there will be bombings and individuals try to leave, that Hamas actually has acted to try to convince them not to leave, because they would see that as a sign of kind of buying into the entire concept of what Israel is doing. And that is leading to more deaths as well, regardless of what your position is on the Israeli action. That is not an action that an organization takes when it is trying to protect citizens.
not at all. We know how they operate. We know what their agenda is. And it's an agenda that, if it costs the lives of their citizens, is fine with them.
Both Israel and Hamas are involved in actions that prevent peace, and the Palestinians absolutely need to organize to get Hamas completely out of power.